Says we have two folks on, but only one comment, so that's fine. We can wait. We're going to make some stretch bracelets today. Hopefully Mary will pop on. She said that the other day that she hasn't ever made a stretch bracelet, so I figured we'd make a couple and maybe some earrings. These little raven charms I got from Randy the other day. I painted them. That fun. And so, hey Tina. So I figured we'd also make some simple earrings using our these little raven charms that I painted with the back because I thought, you know, they look really cool, but they'd look even better painted. So I did that. We're gonna, hey Beth, we're gonna make what I call aroma bracelets, and that's because they're they're mainly lava stone with just a few gemstones in to add a little oomph. So I'm going to show you what I mean by those in just a few, and and I and they are stretch bracelets, so that's always nice for get. They're simple to get on and off is the main thing with a stretch bracelet, obviously, because you, hey Deborah, um, because of course you just slide it over your hand. And when I say slide it, that is what my advice to putting it on is, not stretching it out and trying to stuff it on, but just to slide it over your hand. So, oh dear, flooding. I hope not, Deborah. That would be bad. So we're going to make, like I say, a couple of stretch bracelets using using mainly lava stones and a couple of different gemstones. I haven't decided exactly which ones I want to use yet. I have this dark cherry quartz. Hi, Sid. I have some moss agate here, and I have some goldstone. So I also have a full box of fossil coral in case I decide to use some fossil coral for it. Now, these are, like I say, pretty simple. You just need spacers, and even if you don't want spacers, you don't even have to worry about it. You can do it just straight beads, but we can do fossil coral or one of these other stones as well as the lava. And like I say, if you don't want spacers, you don't have to use spacers. I always use spacers, but you don't have to. Also, I've got multiple sizes of lava stones so that I can make a pattern with them without having to use other stones to do it. So that's always a nice way of going about it. Ugh. Well, let's hope you are safe where you're at, Deborah. Nothing is quite so crappy as the weather can be. But so anyway, we are going to turn down in a bit and start some bracelets and maybe some earrings with our ravens. These are going to be really simple. Hey Gloria, how's it going? Like I say, they're going to be pretty simple, and I try to make these sort of gender neutral, so that I don't have to. So because a lot of, hey Marianne, I usually make these about, you know, I usually make them about 7 1/4 to 7 1/2 inches. Hey Jenny, because men usually have a slightly larger wrist than women do. So if I make it slightly larger, a woman can wear it as long as she doesn't, that has a smaller wrist, as long as she doesn't mind having it loose. And a man can, some men can still wear them as well. So you got your bargain bead box? Ah, I got my notice that mine is coming. It's supposed to be here Friday. The last few times I've got that notice that it's supposed to be here a specific day, though. It was generally a day or two later, but hopefully, well, it doesn't matter if it's not here Friday. As long if it's here Monday or Tuesday, that'll be fine because I'll be gone over the weekend. Now I'm only doing morning coffee today because, as you all know, or most of you do, I'm leaving for a Beltane festival tomorrow, and so I'll be on the road in the morning time on both Thursday and Friday. Um, oh, Colleen got hers. Well, she lives in Tennessee, so she's not too far from the Beadbox Bargains headquarters. So thanks, Jenny. It's good that you could pop in at least for a few minutes. Anyway, so we're going to turn down, and I'm going to give you some ideas of what I mean with my stretch bracelets. I sort of decided not to use the gold stone because this is a more expensive stone than the other two are. Anyway, I purchased it for a more expensive. Did I finish pricing? I priced quite a few things, but there's still other. There's still other. What was I saying? I forgot. Pricing differences. Because the aroma bracelets are one thing I hold to just a certain price. I don't change the price of them. I try not to use my more expensive gemstones in them so that I end up not going over what I would want to have as a specific price for these. So even though these moss agates were originally $18, I got them for $10. So I'm going to probably use some of them, but we'll see what we decide to do. You hate making stretch bracelets? Why, Gloria? You know, weirdly enough, I have quite a few bracelets, and 9 times out of 10, the ones I actually wear myself are my stretch bracelets. Mainly because they're simple. You can just grab them, slide them over your hand, and they look really pretty. So, but no, I finished pricing most of the items that I plan on taking, but I am going to price these raven earrings after I get those made because I am going to take those. And I made fairy ears last night, 3 sets of those, so they have to be priced. Got a hummingbird and a fairy and butterflies. So those still have to be priced. You think your gemstones are too pricey for a stretch bracelet? Well, you know, it depends entirely on your stretch bracelet. I've made some with not aroma bracelets. But if I'm just making a regular stretch bracelet, I'll price it just like I do anything else. And, you know, for myself, if I'm using really expensive beads in them, they're usually for me. But As far as the lava ones are concerned, I try to use my less expensive gemstones just because of the pricing difference. Though, frankly, lava stones themselves have gone up in price quite a bit from what they used to be, which is sort of shocking. They used to be probably one of the least expensive beads you could buy, and anymore that's not always the case. Um, but yeah, I tend to lean towards using my less expensive gemstones, and like I say, I only use 3 or 4. You should probably use your bargain bead box for stretch bracelets. That's a thought. They generally have some gemstones in them, and so if you wanted to use gemstones, you could. You don't need to use gemstones. Yeah, it is quite a bit. Uh, Obsidian and onyx have gone up in price quite a bit. Because hey, you got to wear that. Those are black. You want them for those little black dresses. So anyway, we're going to turn down and we're going to get looking at um, what beads we're going to use and start designing and go over the elastic and stuff as well. Oh, hi, Cynthia. Thank you. Yeah, people look for the gemstones in black. And that's why when I say I make these a little bit, generally tend to make them a little bit bigger than a normal stretch bracelet with the lava stone in them, because so men like them as well as women. I've had a lot of men buy my lava stone stretch bracelets. So let's turn down and we'll get working on this. Hopefully Randy will have a quick and safe trip on her way to, unfortunately, her grandma's funeral. And I know that she wasn't leaving right away this morning, but she asked me to do this so she could get the shipping out before she left. Um, she figured there was people that wanted to buy the FOCs, and she didn't want to have them sitting forever. So that is why I took over for her today. Like I said, there won't be morning coffee Thursday or Friday because, well, unless I decide to get up early on Friday before I have to go set up for the Beltane and do it then, but I don't know that I will. We'll see. Tomorrow, definitely not. Probably by this time, I'll be on the road. If not on the road, I'll be finishing up my getting everything in the car and getting on the road. So there is that. So hopefully, we'll have a good day today. We're going to turn down, like I said, we're going to look at the elastic, and then we're going to make a stretch bracelet. So let's get us turned down. Whenever I have to switch the camera, I'm always wishing that I had a setup more like Randy's so that I could just pop a button. So I'm going to see if that's good. So this is my stretch cord. I have elasticity and I have stretch magic, both in the 1mm size. I know that Randy prefers a longa, and I think Heather said, I can't remember what type Heather said they use, but they double theirs up. I don't like to double it up. I think that the 1 meter is strong enough generally. That's what all of my stretch bracelets that I have personally are strung on the 1mm, and I've never had a problem with them. So the only one I ever had a problem with was one that I didn't make. It was a gift to me, and its string broke. I restrung it with the 1mm and haven't had another problem. So anyway, like I say, I prefer the 1mm. So if you have a preference, that's fine. because everybody likes something different. Now, I haven't even opened up this 1mm Stretch Magic. We'll put it aside. I have this big, huge spool of elasticity that I use a lot. And I'm going to get a strand of this off. Now, I take a pretty darn good size strand, usually at least a foot. And that's because, and of course you can cut this with scissors, so you don't have to worry about cutters or anything like that. We'll put this up for now, but I am thinking we'll make 2 maybe. And the first thing you want to do, of course, is stretch it. So you want to stretch it 5 or 6 times. That's to get the excess stretch out of it, so to speak, so that when you've got the beads on it and you start wearing it, it doesn't just automatically start stretching and become a problem. I've never had that problem with mine because, well, I stretch them. Now I'm going to put a bead stopper on the very end of this one side, and I'm only going to do it on this side, and I'm only going to do it way at the end like this because this will probably get cut off and you don't have to worry about it getting damaged. Hi, Angela. And if you don't want a damaged spot in your stretch cord. So the next thing you want to do is you want to decide what beads you're going to use. I've got this beautiful strand of cherry quartz, and I'm going to use some of those, but like I said, I don't use a lot of the gemstones. Generally 3 to 4 is the max I use. So we're going to just pull off, we'll pull off 4. But then I'm going to put the rest, well, I'm going to put a bead stopper on this until I can count them and get them put away by how much they cost. I do have a box beside me to put them in, so we got 4 of these. And we're going to spread them out some. And then I have my lava stones. These are trying to break through the side over here. I just had to take them out of the Hishi's spot, so it probably will. So I'm going to get a bigger one for the middle, just to add some emphasis to the fact that that is the middle. And then we'll put an 8 on either side of those. And this, of course, is going to be your focal area. So now I'm going to start patterning with some of the smaller ones. So I'm just going to pull a whole bunch out here and put them on the mat and design the pattern as we go along here. And you're trying to escape again. I can see that you're pushing that out. A couple of the bigger ones for emphasis. Now, I buy these in bulk. As you can see, I have a whole bunch in here. But even so, these are 16 cents a piece anymore. Used to be they were about 6 cents a piece. It's sort of sad the way prices are going up. But I guess it happens to everything sooner or later. So we've got some of these out here. Oh, I only put a few of the little ones out. We should put a few more of those. Hey, PK. Well, I'm sorry you can't stick around. Receptionist out again? I was hoping you'd be having better luck with those guys by now, but I guess that's not the case. So now what I want to do is we're starting like this. Oop, you went over there. And then we're going to, I think I'll put a small one in here to just taper it down. Then back up to a larger. Now, one thing I am going to do is I need to get some spacers out because I do like spacers in my bracelets. Well, I like spacers in everything, but you know, it's the way it goes. So anyway, I'll get some spacers out and we'll get an idea of how long we're getting here. Of course, no matter how long it measures, it's not really going to be that size when you go to put it on your bracelet sizer. So with what I have right here, come on, there's almost, well, it's almost 7 inches right there. So by the time I put spacers in, we're probably going to be close to the length we want. Now I need a large hole. I need a large hole bead of some kind to finish this up because that's where the knot's going to go, is inside the large hole. So I have some of these barrel beads. And these are large holes here. Now I'm going to try to find some other spacers that are similar to these to put in various places to bring it down to this so it doesn't just look like that's there. And like I say, we want some more neutral spacers. So I have, these are old ones I haven't finished using. I'm going to use these little saucer spacers. And if you want to use multiple spacers, you can do that too. I'm probably going to like I said, add a few of these in here to bring so that the knot one is not all by its lonesome. And I may even, we'll see, go there. Now you got to remember your spacers are going to cost you too, and these are more expensive spacers. They're about 6 cents a piece. These are 3, so now I've gotten too long, I can already say right here, so we may end up pulling some things. Pulling is better than, not having enough. Hey, Dorothy. Hey, Dorothy, your mug said it was going to go out for delivery today, so hopefully you'll have it today. It's back in Florida again. When I checked it this morning, it had been in Miami and was just leaving there for its destination, it said so. Now, by the time I get over to here, if it may be too long and we may be taking some of these beads out, and that's fine. It's better to take out unless you have a pattern that you absolutely, oh no, I can't take anything out of that. Generally, most people don't have that kind of attitude. Anyway, I don't. And you can put in multiple spacers, of course. You can do anything you want, like I said. You can put in no spacers if you prefer no spacers. Now, these spacers are relatively good size, so I suspect I am going to be taking beads out of here, but we'll see. I think I took one out of there instead of here. Oops, where's my... one thing about lava stones, it's not always easy to find the proper hole because they have holes everywhere. Now this is supposed to be our middle stone. And as you can see, there's quite a bit of tail already there. So I'm fairly positive we're going to be taking some out. Oh yeah, it's already over 5 inches. Yeah, exactly. It did take a tour, Dorothy. It went all over the place. I've had them happen to me before, and I wondered to myself, what is the post office thinking when that happens? Um, the really irritating thing to me was that it actually was in Florida, and then it left to go to Phoenix, and I was like, what the heck was that about? But and I can definitely tell this is going to be way too long. So I probably am going to stop right here on this side. And then we're going to bead stopper at the very end. I'm going to take this off to right here because I think this is going to be extra. And then what we need to do is we're going to take our second line and we're going to feed it through our big hole bead here. And then I'm going to tie an overhand right here and put it relatively tight. And I'm doing this because I want to see if I've got enough length. So we'll pull our bracelet sizer out. I've got bracelets sitting on it, have to come off. And then we're going to slide it down and see how long we are. Oh, look, we're not quite. We're right at 7. So we could probably put in, since I want it to go to about 7, between 7 and 7.25, I'm thinking we can, okay, put in one of these smaller ones and the 2 spacers. Then we'll see. Take this off. Put this on this side. Now, your large hole doesn't have to be right in the middle of the end, because see, now it's not on mine. And that's just a preference thing. You can put your large hole bead that you're going to put your knot in any place in your bracelet. You could put it right up in the front. I have done that before. so there is that option. Okay, let me see how my pattern's going here. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I've got a third one of these in here. Don't want that. 1, 2, 1, 2. Pull you apart because you shouldn't be here. And since now this is probably going to be smaller because I pulled that out, I'm probably going to take this and put it back on the other side and put another small one right here. Well, now you have to go back over here because our large hole's over there. Okay, now let's see if we're got an even pattern going. Now, you don't have to have an even pattern. I just am really a symmetrical person. I like an even pattern. Yeah, we do. So now we're going to do what we did before and slide this second thread through our large hole so that we can pull it up to where it would be if the knot was in place. Then we're going to tie this here across the back just to keep it secure when we put it on our bracelet mandrel. Come on, go through there. And so it's at a good, it's tight. It's not loose and going to be all over the place. So let's get our bracelet mandrel back out, slide it back on. Okay, it is a little bigger. Not a lot, but a little bit. And I didn't want it a lot bigger, so that's all right. So now that we have this about the size we want it, what I need to do is then take these back out, or at least take one of them out. Even our strands up as much as possible. Slide you over here. Now I'm going to stretch this out again, especially here at the end. And we got to tie our knot. Hey, Chris. Yeah. And that's another thing, Dorothy. It went back to Opelika from Phoenix, or from Memphis. When it went from Phoenix to Memphis, it went back to Opelika. Then it went to Miami. And I'm like, whatever. You know, I can't second guess the post office there. Hey, Chris. How you doing this morning, Chris? So anyway, to tie this knot, we're gonna do our stretch. Then we're going to take 2 fingers, put them right here at the base of this, pull it around both fingers. And I almost cut too little of this. And then we want to go through between our fingers here to the other side. And that's why I said I almost cut too little. It wants to not do what I want it to do. Pull that around, do a second through. This makes a surgeon's knot. Come on, go all the way. Now I have it two pieces there. Now pull your one finger out quickly. Oops. Don't let go. So now I'm tightening it up here. And as I pull it off my other finger, I pull tight. Ta-da. Now it's got a really big knot there, as you can see. And that's because this is actually a surgeon's knot with a double tie. And these are really strong. They don't slide. I say they don't, and it just did. Wow, that's weird. Are you going to keep sliding? Okay, I obviously didn't get this very tight because it keeps sliding, and that's a weird one. I've never had that happen with this knot before. Of course, I'm on camera when it decides to do it. So, and it also came out really easily, which is as bizarre as the other thing. So let's try this again. Up and over, around, once, through. I wonder if one of these didn't go through all the way. Then again. Pull the first finger out, keep tight. As you're sliding out this one, pull tight. Now let's tighten that up some. Usually when you stretch it like that, it just tightens your knot instead of letting it loosen, which now it's behaving, it looks like. Weird. Hey, Georgina. So now that it seems to be behaving, I can take this and I'm going to cut these threads down. Not right to the knot because you need it to be there a little bit. You don't want it to come out. So I'm going to cut the thread about, 1/8 of an inch up. Cut the 2 extras ends off. And then I have some hypo cement. Hypo cement is the only thing I use on stretch bracelets, and it's about the only thing I use hypo cement for is stretch bracelets. So do not use super glue on a stretch bracelet knot. It'll break. It hardens too hard, and so come on, let's come out. Usually once you start, you won't stop. There we go. So I'll put it on right here where the strings come out together. And then we're going to put them down here as well where the strings go in and where the knot works about. Just put it wherever you feel makes it more secure. Then get this little needle back in quick because it will keep coming out once it starts. Now that you've done that, pull this little bead right here. You pull your bead here and go over your knot. Okay. And now it's inside the knot and your bracelet's finished. One bracelet. And let's see if it stayed a little over 7 inches. Looks like it's just barely over 7 inches, but that's all right. We can live with it. So there we go. There's our bracelet all done. E6000 is great as well because, again, it dries sort of rubbery, so it has some give to it, so to speak. I usually use hypo cement, but that's just because that's the way I was taught. I use E6000 for just about everything. One of the reasons I like the hypo cement is because of that little tiny opening, because you can sort of direct it where you want it to be at. So there is the one with the cherry quartz all finished. Now our knot is in this bead over here. So I have had packages from Softlex, which is in Sonoma, California, go from Sonoma to Sacramento. And I always go, oh, no, don't send it to Sacramento. Sacramento sends them to wherever they bloody well please. Never to where it needs to go, it doesn't seem. I say that because I've had them go, when they go to Sacramento, they've gone to Houston. They've gone to Nashville. They've gone to New York City. I'm like, I'm in Montana. It's only a little bit that direction. It not way over there. So I wonder about the post office some days. But, what can I say? But anyway, there is our first bracelet. I'm going to leave it be for a while so that hypo cement dries a bit. And we'll see, do we want to make another stretch bracelet, or would we rather make these little raven earrings? I do have some lovely fossil coral that I was thinking of using for one of the bracelets. And I do have a fossil coral large hole bead that I can use in the back for to hold the get one more yellow that's more like the other beads, to hold the knot in place so I don't have to use a spacer for the knot. You can use a bead, but we want to go to the earrings. Okay, we can do that. Let's go to the earrings. Now these are going to be really simple. Slide these up here so I can do them later if I feel like doing another one. So what I want to do is I'm going to take I have some rings, and what I'm thinking I'm going to do, something really, really simple, is we're going to take some of these, come here you, hexagon beads, or frames, connectors, whatever you want to call them, put them up here. And then we're going to hook onto that. And then I'm going to take one of these really pretty silver rings, and put it above, like this. And then we'll hook it onto some ear wires. So, and I could use a post or just a regular ear wire for this. I got these from Randy, but I painted them. They were just a silver charm. And here, let's get it closer to the camera so you can see it maybe better. But it was just a silver charm, and I painted the raven, the sun, moon, whatever you want to call it, and the grasses. Then I painted the little blue around the frame just to give it a little bit more oomph. So these are going to be really, really simple and easy to make. I'm trying to decide if a Tinky Tot or 4mm. Randy's got me calling them Tinky Tots. I always have, because she does. And if they will work, I think we might need a medium. Medium is a 6. So I'm just going to take a jump ring. And we're going to par usual, I've got the opening in the front and I want it in the back. Well, we're just gonna, well, oh, good thing I went with a medium, because this is pretty thick on this side. Okay, let's be that way Oop, come here, you. Close you up. So now this one just needs its ear wire. Now, if you wanted to put another, a gemstone or something in here, that's obviously something you can do. This is welded, but it was welded a little crooked, so I just straightened it. If you use an ear wire, because the holes, because you're, I'll show you in a minute. Sometimes when you put two pieces together like this, it's easiest if you do what I just did and did one side and then switch to the other side to, because sometimes they fight for space. This one looks more silver than the other one. Yeah, that's silver, or silver like that one is. This one's more like this one. Weird. They all came out of the same package. Do I want to switch this one or this one? I guess we'll switch that one because the ring above it's pretty bright. So we'll take this more antiqued one off. Didn't open enough. Oop, no snappy. I always think it's funny when you're putting something together and then you go to take it apart and it's harder to get apart than it was to get together. That's better. They're more the same now. Now we'll get this last piece on up here, and then we'll decide if we're going for ear wires or posts. You gonna fight with me? Okay, let's go over to this side. Bring you on here. Anyway, these are going to be pretty basic earrings. If you wanted a crystal or a stone, you could put one up here, or you could even hang one, but you'd need a bigger jump ring right here because this is a big wide base here. So you see here. And let's bring it up. So it's a pretty wide base. So it's going to, if you were to put a crystal down here, you'd need a relatively good sized jump ring. A medium, the 6 might be all right, but I don't know. But you'd need to, or you could even hardwire it in. But you could put a crystal right in here to add a little something more if you wanted to, like, see? That's not a crystal, but you know. Anyway, let's put this guy back in the box so he doesn't get lost. And now we have a choice. Do we want to just put ear wires on, or do we want to put a post on? Now, if you're putting an ear wire on, as you can see, your hole goes this way, so it's facing you, or, you know, it's sideways to you. This one is got a hole facing this direction. So if you are going to use an ear wire, you would need to use 2 jump rings to put it on. Otherwise, your earring's going to go sideways. So you'd want to use this one and then probably a tiki tot to put it together. Or strangely enough, if you're using a post, because the post's holes are generally always in the front, you can use just this. So I have a number of different silver posts. In fact, I have snowflakes. I didn't use those this year because, well, I didn't feel like it. I had, that's the teardrop. Strange. I would have swore I had some little hexagon ear posts, but I don't see any here. So maybe not. So we could use a little round post up here. I wouldn't want a really huge one. It would start overpowering our rings. So I'm leaning towards this little guy here. Though if we did want to add that little bit of crystal to it, I do have these guys that we could hook it to add that little bit of sparkle. See these? They're pretty. Now, which one do I want to go with? That is the question. I also have little teardrops. Well, they're inverted tear. They're more like raindrops, I guess. They're tear. Come here. So that's like these. So then we have 3 different shapes here: hexagon, round, and a teardrop. What's everybody think? Any preferences there? Some things, you know, I'll put them out here and I'll go, oh, there's no way. That one looks like yuck. No, I don't want that. And actually, I'm sort of leaning that way with the circle, even though it would match our ring down below because of the shape. It's also just as big, if not a little bigger, than our ring, and I'm not sure I like it. So, let's see, well, it's sort of hard to show you with a post. It doesn't want to see, but it would be, come on. Hang it like that. The teardrop is a little smaller, or the inverted teardrop, so it brings a different shape into the thing, and it is sort of cool looking. And then, of course, we have the crystal, which then brings some sparkle into the mix. You like the round one? So I've got votes. I've got votes for all 3. So I'm actually leaning away from the round one because it's about the same size as our next piece down. And teardrop adds another shape since we're all different shapes here, so that doesn't bother me. But I like the sparkle. Let's see if I can drive these into the mat so they'll stand up a little bit so you can see more what they look like. Stand up. Turn. Then there's the round. Well, we aren't going to use the ear wires. I think we'll put those up. What do I like best? I'm actually sort of leaning towards the crystal because I like the additional sparkle in them. On the other hand, if you're wanting something without the sparkle, I was initially leaning towards the teardrop, but I'm not sure. Now that I put them like that, so I can see what they look like. Oh, would you get up here? I like the sparkle, but I don't think it works. It just doesn't seem to go with the rest, if you know what I mean. You think the teardrop is too small? Yeah, I was just thinking that too, now that I have them stuck up like this so that I can see them better. I sort of like a small post, but at the same time, we don't want it to be too overpowered, so to speak. Go into the mat. So the more I look at them, the more I'm going for the round one. So I think we're going for the round one. The little teardrop can go back in its home. And we're going to use the round ones. The sparkle is pretty, but it actually had a little tanzanite bead in it. It would have been better if it had been just straight crystal. It would have matched better. I like the tanzanite bead, but, and this is a big but, there's no purple in my raven that I painted, so I didn't want to use that. So I think we're going to go with the round one. So let's open this baby up. And obviously I didn't turn the notifications off today because they're coming through. Okay, come here. Come on, go on there. There we go. Oops, that's not quite closed. Yeah. I think it looks pretty good with the round one on there. I like the sparkle a lot too. I'm a sparkle girl. I love sparkle, but I just don't think that the little tanzanite stone was doing the job, so to speak. It wanted to be. The purple just wasn't right. If it had been a different color, the light, even though it was just a really pale purple, if it had been like a really pale blue or even like a citrine, that would have been better. So there we go. There's our earrings. I actually somewhere have some earrings posts that are, there actually are black. I just remembered that. I wonder if they're in here. I didn't think so. These are mainly my crimp covers in here, but every once in a while something sneaks in here that doesn't belong in here. And I thought maybe that's where I had stuck them, but they're probably not put away yet. Many things aren't put away yet. But anyway, I think these turned, I like the look of those. I think those work good. Now, where are my earring backs? Well, I got a whole new case, so. They're probably right under my nose because they usually are, but. Oh, hi, Heather. When did you pop on? I'm just seeing you. So anyway, we got some, I like these style of earring backs with the wider piece. For my older hands, that extra little bit of piece helps a lot for putting things in. So here is our raven earrings. I decided I had to make these so they could go to the festival, but I think they turned out pretty cute. So we have our stretch bracelet and our earrings from today. And look at that, we're just a little over an hour, so I think we can call it a day. Hi, Rebecca. Well, I'm sorry you just got here because I'm just about to turn her off here. I suppose if we wanted to, we could take a little extra time and we could make another stretch bracelet because I do have my fossil coral out. I love fossil coral. It's so cool looking. But anyway, that is what we've made for today. I hope you enjoyed making these with me. I think we're probably going to take off for the day here. Let's turn up for a few moments. So, um, as far as length is concerned, they are a nice length too. I like their length. These are one of those pairs that I'm looking at going, oh, Rose, you really like those. Oh, I think if I remember right, Chris, I got this set of earbacks from Amazon. So and they do come in a little case, so you don't have to have them loose all over the place. I have gotten them from Randy before. She does carry some. And actually, I may even have some in one of my sets. But um, I do like these earrings. I may have to see if she has any more of these little ravens left because they painted up really cute. And this is a pretty minimalistic earring when it comes right down to it. Really simple to make, but really pretty. Well, I'm glad that we've been helpful, Heather. I know that the group, I know they helped me when a lot when my kitty passed away. Is Beth on? I didn't see her this morning, I don't think. Hmm. Anyway, um, I think the group helps a lot. And I know when I had COVID and couldn't even get out of bed, it was really nice to um, at least I could watch, the various groups and that I did watch. And it was helpful to me as far as um, having somebody there that I could listen to and I just wasn't stuck in bed constantly. Um, since your son's going to be stuck in bed for a while, maybe he has a YouTube channel he likes to watch that might be something to help him pass some of the time. Um, just a thought. But anyway, it's been really great having you guys with me today. I know, like I said, that Randy was going to be spending the morning getting all the orders out this morning so they weren't be sitting there while she was gone before she started her trip. So, and hopefully she's got that done so she's not overly long before she has to get going and be on the road. Um, So I'm going to price these pieces out, and I think I'll make the other stretch bracelet, and so that I have it to take. And if I keep the earrings, I don't have to price them. But I probably won't. But I do really like them. I think they turned out really cute. But so anyway, I'm going to get off here. Hey, Laverl. We're just about to sign off. Sorry that you more or less missed us. I am over the hour like normal, it seems. I never do keep to my hour, do I? But I've got a few things I have to do today before we go, and price some more things like the fairy ears I finished last night, and he likes games. Uh, my grandson is quite the gamer, and he can really fly through them. He actually is a beta tester for one of the game companies. Um, and it seems it's weird to say it, but I think that autistic kids really do good with the video games. Anyway, mine does. But anyway, everybody, have a lovely day. Like I said, I'm going to make this other stretch bracelet that I was half designing here with the fossil coral. And then I'm going to get off of here, price the last few things that I've got to get priced, and get packing. So we'll talk to you everybody later. Like I said, I, I, I do have a little video I have on for tomorrow, or actually it's this afternoon because I'd already set it up for this afternoon. It's just an unboxing of some stuff from Sam's. I'll try and get a quick video done. Maybe I'll do a video of this, making this other stretch bracelet, and maybe a couple, so I have more than one. And for tomorrow morning. And then, like I said, for the members, I might come on late tomorrow. It definitely won't be 1 o'clock. I'll still be on the road at 1. Probably will be closer to like 7 or 8. So if you want to do that, there is that. So I found another whole roll of rat tail, so I could make another one of those bracelets. I got to decide what beads I want to put in it. If I do, though, it's purple. So I'm going to sign off. We'll see you later. And everybody have a great day. Bye-bye.